Okay, people, so 7 fights went the distance. We will be talking about 4 of those fights in Pack A Lunch. Yo, there was some weird judging. There was some weird judging going on in Montreal. You know what I mean? And it did affect 2 of these fights. Now, one of them was crazy. The other one, it only affected it within a round, right? The result is still what the result is, but they claim it's 30-27. So that is the Daniel Santos Lee Jeong-yeong fight. Jeong-yeong Lee fight even. Yeah, the judges gave it 30-27 to Santos. Now, I thought Santos did win that fight, but I feel it was probably 29-28 because, yeah, Lee put Santos down in the first round, right? It was super close. You know what I mean? This was a hectic fight. You know what I mean? It was back and forth. They were both going at it. Like, Lee put Santos down, and Santos rocked Lee, I think in the second round. You know? So, yeah, it was that kind of fight. And I think Santos then was able to get more takedowns, do slightly more. Right? Slightly more. You know what I mean? He landed some big blows and all of that. But Lee wasn't, you know what I mean, just a punching bag in there. And as I said, he did put Santos down in the first. So I feel I would have given Lee the first round. You know, so that, yeah, as I said, that wasn't the most egregious of things. But it was just a bit like, that's interesting, right? Now, the fight. Well, actually, we'll go to the first, you know, because we're with the light heavyweights next, right? So the first out of those fights was the Ivan Erslan Navajo Stirling fight, right? Which opened up the prelims proper. Now, this was a decent fight, right? And I think at the beginning, it was kind of close. But Stirling was able to take over, especially in the third round. I think Stirling has got really good skills. I think one big thing with this fight that you could see was he let Erslan in too much, right? He didn't utilize his jab as well as he could have. You know what I mean? Because, like, he's got the reach, so he should be able to keep people at that distance. But, you know, it's about throwing with more conviction to keep someone away, right? So they can't just walk through and get inside. So there was that, but he did get like a takedown in the third, and he was dropping elbows, right? It was a testament to Erslan that he was able to survive because, man, you thought, yeah, this is going to get stopped. But yeah, Erslan showed mad heart and he stuck in there. But yeah, Stirling did a good job. It's he's early in his career, so there's definitely things for him to improve, but it looks like he's going in the right direction. Now, I feel so sorry for Ion Cuțelaba, right? So he fought Modestas Bukauskas next, another light heavyweight clash, and this fight was bonkers. It was a split decision, you know. Yeah, a judge, like one judge gave it 30-27 to Cuțelaba. Another judge gave it 30-27 to Bukauskas. And then the other judge gave it 29-28 to Bukauskas. Now, just giving the fight to Bukauskas is just bizarre. It was a bizarre result. But to go 30-27 is just like, you need to go see the commission if you're handing out 30-27. Because here's the thing, right? When Bukauskas did land, it was decent shots, right? He landed some decent shots. But he just was not throwing enough, right? Cuțelaba was the one throwing the most punches, pushing forward. Like, Bukauskas, it seemed that he was just looking for that knockout shot. That's what it seemed like. And maybe in the past, that might have worked against Cuțelaba. But I think what we've seen, he's really changed his style, right? He's really tempered his approach, and he's just not as reckless as he used to be. Right? I believe he's gone to American Top Team. So I think that's part of the change, the evolution we've seen in Cuțelaba. And he's been putting things together well. And that's what we saw on Saturday night. Right? He was utilizing his weapons. He's throwing some combinations. He was the busier fighter. He's the busier fighter. But he ends up losing. It was bonkers. It really was. I just did that fight. I did not understand at all. Yeah, that one was a crazy one. Oh boy. So yeah, then our last fight is the women's flyweight clash of Alexa Grasso against Natália Silva, which was the second fight on the main card. So this was a straight 30-27 to Silva. And man, like, look, Grasso was not fighting badly. It's just Silva's movement. It was just so good, right? And Grasso can be a little flat-footed at times, right? We've seen her put those performances out there, you know? So, yeah, you know, she was cutting off the cage well, right? But Silva just couldn't pin Silva down. Silva was moving, jabbing, throwing kicks, just putting it all together so well. You know, she was like, man, you just watched her and it's just a thing of beauty. I guess the only knock on Silva is because she's moving so much, she's not sitting down really on her shots. So they're not concussive. Like, she was landing head kicks, and you'd think like a head kick would carry a bit more, but she's moving so much, right? It's not that big shot. So that might be the knock on her to, at times, right, really just get behind those shots. But man, what she did was phenomenal. Now, Grasso, man, she was trying her hardest. And in the third round, she did get off more. She was able to land more on Silva. And, you know, she did her thing, right? She got off those shots and it was effective, but still, even getting off, some good shots, she was still just always behind. Always behind. And yeah, I was a little surprised by this one. Now, I knew Silva was very good. Right? There was no question about that. But Grasso does have a boxing background. And I thought that would hold her well. Right? And especially, she's I believe a jiu-jitsu black belt. Right? So I thought she would be able to integrate those things a bit better. But man, Silva is good. Like, the problem with Silva being this good is she might get pushed into a title fight next. And because, she beat Jasmine Jasvicevic, right? So technically, if anyone's getting a title, it should be Silva, right? Then Jasvicevic. Oh man, I'm butchering her name. But who knows? But the thing being, I think Silva is mad talented, and maybe she could do it. But it does feel like it's, she's so early in her career. You feel it might be a disservice. You know what I mean? Like, give her at least a couple more fights. Because if she was to lose, right? If she was to challenge for the belt and lose, and maybe get shut out, would that be a really disheartening setback that really just impacted her career? Because we've seen that happen. People get that shot mad early, and then they're never really the same afterwards. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Silva, but she looked very, very good, people. And so, yeah, those were not all the decisions from the night, but we will be hitting the rest of those later on. But that is Pack a Lunch.